The temples of Khajuraho from central India are known for their erotic sculptures. These are Hindu and Jain temples presently scattered over 6 square kilometers. Out of these, only 5 Hindu temples depict erotic images, which is approximately 10% of the total. The 5 main erotic temples are Lakshman, Kandariya Mahadev, Vishwanath, Dulha Dev, and Javari. In fact, these erotic temples have more aesthetical and spiritual significance, of which sex is just a subtext. This video briefly covers the overall history, architecture, themes, and their possible interpretations through few examples. As per the ancient text, Khajuraho was about 35 miles from the medieval city of Mahoba, the capital in Kalinjar region. Today the location comes under a town also called as Khajuraho. Khajuraho is located in Chhatarpur district of Madhya Pradesh state of India, which is 620 kilometers southeast of New Delhi. The name Khajuraho originates from the Sanskrit name Kharjur Vahak, where Kharjur means date and Vahak means the bearer or carrier. According to some scholars, the word also means scorpion bearer, a synonym for god Shiv who sports snakes and scorpion garlands in fierce form. As per local legends, the temple had 2 golden date palm trees as gates. In ancient literature, Khajuraho is referred by different names as Jajahuti, Jejahuti, Jejak Bhukti, and Chichito. Most of the Khajuraho temples were built by the Chandel dynasty between 950 to 1050 in the Bundelkhand region. During 12th century, 85 temples were spread over 20 square kilometers, while the surviving 25 temples are spread over 6 square kilometers. Among the surviving temples, Kandariya Mahadev is the biggest, built by the king Vidyadhar. Lakshman temple was built by Yashovarman, whereas Vishwanath temple was built by Dhangdev. In 1022 CE, Mahmud of Ghazni raided Kalinjar, and during the raid of Mahmud of Ghazni, the Persian historian Abu Rihan al-Biruni accompanied him. In al-Biruni's memoir, Khajuraho is mentioned as the capital of Jajahuti. Khajuraho temples were in use till the end of the 12th century. In the 13th century, Qutubuddin Aibak of Delhi Sultanate seized Chandel kingdom. Later, a Moroccan traveller, Ibn Battuta, mentioned Khajuraho as Kajjar in his memoirs. From 13th to 18th century, various Muslim dynasties ruled Khajuraho. During this period, some temples were vandalized and later neglected. Over the period of time, these temples got concealed in the forests that overgrew. In 1830s, the temples were rediscovered when some local Hindus guided the British surveyor T.S. Burt to the location. In 1852, Frederick Charles Massey prepared the earliest drawings of the Khajuraho. Later, Alexander Cunningham mentioned in his reports that temples were secretly used by yogis. He also prepared a systematic documentation and nomenclature of these temples, which is widely accepted today. According to Cunningham's nomenclature, the temples are broadly divided into three groups: Eastern group, Western group, and Southern group. The Eastern group of temples include Javri, Vaman, Brahma, Adinath, Parshvanath, and Shantinath temples. The Western group of temples include Chausat Yogini, Lal Gua, Matangeshwar, Varah, Lakshman, Kandariya, Jagdamba, Chitragupt, Vishwanath, and Mahadev. And the Southern group of temples include Dulhadev and Chaturbhuj. The architecture of Khajuraho is symbolic, which has the Hindu mandal design based upon the principle of square and circle. A square is considered a product of knowledge and human thoughts, which is divine for its perfection, whereas a circle is considered earthly, human, and observed in sun, moon, drop of water, horizon, and rainbow. Basically, mandals are circles within a square arranged around a single central point. Here is a drawing of the Sri Yantra showing the outside square with 4 T-shaped gates and the central circle. It reflects Hindu beliefs through form, structure, and arrangement, and the territory is laid out in 3 triangles converging to form a pentagon. According to some scholars, this reflects the Hindu symbolism of 3 realms, that is Trilokanath, and 5 cosmic substances, that is Panchabhuteshwar. In temples, ornate carvings are seen on the pillars, outer walls, inner walls, as well as outside. The Khajuraho and Kalinjar monuments are made of high quality sandstones due to its abundance in the region. The granite foundation of the temples are concealed from view. Instead of mortar, the stones were joined with mortise and tenon and held in place by gravity. This form of construction requires very precise joints. The columns and architraves were built with almost 20 tons of megaliths. And the temples are built in Nagara style, which is prominent in North India. Here are some of the basic different features between Nagara and Dravidian style of temples. Khajuraho temples, like most other Hindu temples, follow the grid geometrical design called Vastu Purush Mandal. The grid design, that is Vastu Purush Mandal, has 3 main components: Mandal, that is circle; Purush, that is universal essence at the core; and Vastu, that is the dwelling structure. Larger Khajuraho temples have pillared halls called mandaps, where arts are arranged in a symmetrical repeating pattern. Here the placement of the images express ideas, like words form sentences and paragraphs. The mandaps are also arranged by principles of symmetry, grids, and mathematical precision. This is common in Hindu temples all over India. In each Khajuraho temple group, the major temples are surrounded by smaller temples. These small temples are similar to the grid style observed in Hindu temples in Angkor Wat, Parambaran, and South India. The circle of mandal demarcates the square, and each supports the other. The square is divided into perfect 64 sub-squares called pad, and most Khajuraho temples use the 8x8, that is 64 pad grid. The lings, that is primary deities, are located in the grid's Brahmapad. Most Khajuraho Hindu temples repeat the central common principles. These are concentrically layered, self-repeating structures around Garbhagriha. Purush, that is abstract principle, and primary deity reside in the Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha is surrounded by an ambulatory for pilgrims to circumambulate clockwise around the Purush and the main deity. This walk around is called Pradakshina. The Shikhar or Viman, that is spire, of the temple rises above the Garbhagriha. Its symmetry and structure in design comes from the beliefs of cardinality and mathematical principles. In some literature, Shikhar is linked to Mount Kailash or Meru, which is the abode of God Shiv. Except Chaturbhuj temple, all Khajuraho temples face sunrise, and the entrance for the devotee is through this east side, which is a predominant feature in Hindu temples. Khajuraho temples are mainly Hindu and Jain, which is an example of acceptance and respect for diverse belief. Initially, the temples were named after the god. The Khajuraho temples display a variety of artworks. Only 10% of the artworks are sexual or erotic. The layout mainly integrates masculine and feminine deities, and symbols highlight the interdependence. The artwork symbolically highlight the four goals of life considered proper and necessary in Hinduism. They are Dharma, Kam, Arth, and Moksha. There are some sculptures dedicated to Vishnu, which include the Vyals. Vyal is the imaginary hybrid of an animal with lion body, which may represent a creative syncretic combination of powers inherent in the two. Syncretic combination means the union or fusion of different religions, cultures, or philosophies. Some of these Vyals include Vark Vyal, that is wolf and lion hybrid, and Gaja Vyal, that is elephant and lion hybrid. They are also found in other Indian temples. The majority of the art depicts various aspects of daily life along with the mythical and religious subjects, which is a symbolic display of secular and spiritual values in Hindu tradition. For example, women putting on makeup, musicians playing music, people engrossed in daily life, people engaged in battle during the medieval era. Mythical stories. These scenes are in the outer pads, which is a common feature of Hindu temples. It would be an exaggeration to call these temples just erotic. Except Javari, no eastern side temple have erotic depictions. Possibly the temples got their name erotic while excavation when British scholars noticed them, and later the word erotic was used for the publicity purpose. The erotic scenes, juxtaposed with other sculptures, depict spiritual themes like moksha. Moksha means release from the cycle of rebirth, driven by the law of karma. Some temples have 2 layers of walls with small erotic carvings on the outside of the inner wall. According to some scholars, these are tantric sexual practices. As per other scholars, the erotic art is a part of Hindu tradition of treating Kam as an essential part of human life. In fact, symbolic or explicit display of Kam is not unusual in Hindu temples. The deeper meaning of images convey the values of Hindu philosophy. Of the surviving main temples, the temples dedicated to specific gods are 10 temples to Vishnu and his incarnations, 8 temples to Shiv and his consorts, 5 temples to Jain pontiffs, that is Tirthankars, 1 temple to Ganesh, 1 temple to Sun, 1 temple to 64 yoginis, and some ruins have insufficient evidence to assign to specific god. The erotic sculptures of Khajuraho can be broadly classified into 3 types. Sculptures depicting couples engaged in kissing, embracing, and other kinds of physical intimacies. Sculptures depicting Kama Sutra postures. Sculptures from big temples depicting calm figures in groups. Here 2 central figures are involved in calm posture. On either sides of central figures are 2 individuals, men or women, or a man and a woman. These side individuals are either helping or distracting the central couple. Depictions or placements of sexual images in Khajuraho is different from other erotic temples. For example, in Konark Temple, the erotic images are depicted beside the wheels. There are various theories regarding depiction of these erotic images. According to some scholars, these images are based on Tantra. Many erotic sculptures not just depict the regular sex postures, but tantric practices, which is used to awaken the Kundalini. By awakening Kundalini, one can achieve moksha. Today the same can be achieved through intense yoga. The Chandel kings supposedly believed and practiced tantric art. According to other scholars, many younger generations were becoming saints under the influence of Buddhism. To avoid the decrease in population and provoke the youth, these images were created. Some scholars also believe that due to the battles, there was always population decrease. And to overcome that, these depictions were created to encourage sex. But as per Vastu or Shilpa Shastra, a temple remains incomplete if erotic image is not depicted. For example, a house is incomplete if devoid of a woman. This also applies to the temples from different periods. For example, Gupta period, Pratihar period, and Kalinjar period, or Udayagiri temples. According to one Hindu concept, moksha can be attained by overcoming dharma, that is worldly duties, artha, that is financial goals, and kam, that is sexual desires. All the three desires, that is dharma, artha, and kam, are seen on the outer walls of temples. While the inner wall, around Sanctum Sanctorum, mainly focuses on the divine imageries. In Kandarya temple, on a lower panel of south wall is a male figure. He is in Shirshasana, that is the headstand posture in yoga, with three women. He masturbates to women on either sides while performs sex with the third one on top in the center. The third woman balances herself by taking support of other two women's shoulders. In Tantra, this composition is called Kam Kala Yantra, but metaphorically depicts Kundalini. Kundalini is a form of divine energy supposed to be located at the base of spine, called Mooladhara. In Shaiva Tantra, it is considered as a force or power associated with divine feminine. When feminine power is cultivated and awakened through tantric practice, it leads to the spiritual liberation. The three women represent three nadis, that is blood veins, namely Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna, the woman in the center. The male is balancing his breath, that is Apan Vyan Vayus, and performing Mooladhara Dhyan. He achieves Mooladhara Dhyan by pressing his heel on the woman's lower vertebral column, where Mooladhara is situated. He is in the Shirshasana posture, trying to take Kundalini energy towards his head, which has Sahasrara Chakra. Sahasrara or crown chakra, that is pineal gland, is the opening to the universe, the highest consciousness, where one can experience what one is. The chakra connects one with the spiritual self through the upper brain and the right eye. There is no duality but bliss in this chakra. Development of this chakra makes the person to feel one with the universe, leading to absolute no fear or worry. Reiki attainments are given through this chakra. Another example is of a saint staring at a couple engaged in sex. While he excites his genital to let sexual desire come out, a woman in sitting posture kisses his lap. The depiction probably shows that one may become a reclusive and claim to abandon the physical desires, but still may have some. Another panel depicts a saint engaged in sex while an elephant notices, probably trying to show that even an animal finds such an act shameful. The depiction probably intends to show that calm is not just meant for fornication, but for the cycle of life. Some sculptures also depict bestiality. It is not meant to promote unnatural sex practices, but condemn it. A panel depicts soldiers away from home on battlefield practicing bestiality, while a fellow soldier behind the horse hides his face in shame. Another example depicts a female indulged into animal sex while her partner is away on a battle. Later she apologizes to the village court, that is Panchayat. This shows that Khajuraho probably uses two narratives. One, for the common man to enjoy the sexual desires, and the other, for those who desire to attain moksha. These group of images can be interpreted in different ways as tantric, yogic, and even social satires.